So last time, the crew of the Bold Endeavor reunited after 9 months apart. You made your way through the desert of Andar to the forge of the god Cove. Therein, he gave you a bit of a rundown of what he had been working on. The Bold Endeavor has been retrofitted for flight in the astral sea, and he also, with the help of Hodlin and Harlem, kind of magically sped up Dev's growth so that she is now about the size and shape of a young child as opposed to a little baby acorn, and she has much stronger control over the ship. He also let you know what your mission in the coming days and weeks are. There are essentially 7 points of contact that you are going to need to make throughout Altharn. You're going to have to journey to the 4 elemental planes, earth, air, fire, and water, to find what he called a life spring and deposit a beacon siphon battery of sorts. That is where the power for this new divine cannon is going to come from, that will hopefully allow the gods to recapture the Discordants, which are the 3 evil gods that have managed to escape. You're also going to have to convince 3 of the 4 primordials to help you. It was pretty well decided with relative ease. One of those will be Albark, given that you already have a relationship with him through Shion. But you are going to then have to find and convince 2 of the others, either Chaos, Unlife, or Order. 2 of them will have to be convinced to help. After giving you this rather extensive lore drop, Cove let you know that, oh, by the way, you're already on the elemental plane of Earth, which would explain the encounter you had with a rather aggravated Earth genie on your way into the forge, who complained about retaking the great city of Andar for the elementals. After that, he stowed the beacons and sent you on your way.
Okay, so we have to find a wellspring on the elemental plane of Earth. Were we told where that was, or do we have to go bumbling around asking directions?
You have to go bumbling around asking directions. The beacons that look like small little warforged, they're each about 2 feet tall. They can sense when you're getting close, but that's only within a couple 100 feet.
So they're coming with us.
Yes. They stow themselves on board the Endeavor.
So the question now becomes, do they have cities in the elemental plane of Earth?
Anyone who would like to ponder this can make a history or, I'm going to say, Arcana check.
Oh. Yeah, I'll let the bard tell me a story.
You don't know a whole lot about it, as plane hopping has kind of different connotations in Altharn. There's jumping between the realms, Andar, Telcor, Bunthor. Plane hopping is going between the material and the elemental planes. That happens on a much, much, much less frequent basis. So you've heard stories, but they're few and far between. The general consensus does seem to be, though, that there are gatherings of sentient beings on the elemental planes, usually.
The general consensus is that there are gatherings of sentient beings on the elemental planes, usually.
Oh, thank you. It's like you just repeated it from memory.
Oh yeah, I just had to think about it for a sec.
Yeah. Okay.
So I guess we pick a direction.
Pick a direction. Look for high ground, so we can see further.
So, fun fact about that: as you continue on into the desert, there is definitely no high ground to be found. The hills undulate a bit, but by and large, things seem to be fairly flat. That's not to say the atmosphere doesn't change over the next few hours. It moves from arid desert to gravel plains and sharp cliffs that go down, but you don't really see any more up. And eventually, the gravel and cliffs shift to bright, bright green. You also notice the cliffs in the distance all around you get higher and higher and higher, to the point where you can no longer see the top, and the only reasonable assumption is that you are now in a cave that is miles in length, width, and height. You would still think you're outside if not for the slightly humid, musty air that you associate with being underground. And looking at the ground flying underneath the Endeavor, you notice that lush green turf is actually mushrooms.
Huh. Just had like
I'm gonna-
clouds clipping through the building.
Can I have a couple of them?
You'd have to stop the ship and hop off it. The ship is currently flying above.
Stop the ship!
Oh, we're not on a skiff anymore or whatever this is?
No, you are on the Bold Endeavor.
All right.
I didn't make a transition map. I probably should have. Why are we? Is there something? Is there? did you say something?
Land. It's very important we land.
Okay.
But, I mean, if he wants to, we might as well figure out more about the landscape.
I was gonna say that's stupid, but also why not look around?
Sure. So
This is stupid, but we're going to use the stupidity.
Right.
I was like, well, might as well since he's making us do it. The captain, that is.
the Endeavor comes to a halt and lowers itself so that the what's the keel? There we go. The keel of the ship just like barely brushes the top of the ground, and they throw a ladder over the side so you can climb down.
I inspect the mushrooms.
They look somewhere between a mushroom and like a clover. They have the feel of a mushroom, but are the shape and size of a clover, and it's very dense. And when you step on it, they remain compacted. They don't kind of puff themselves back up like grass or clover tends to.
All right, we're gonna do a loyalty test when we get back. I'm gonna grab a few of them, and I don't know what they're gonna do, but I'm gonna jump back on the ship. All right, I'm just gonna be like, all right, loyalty test. Who wants to try the funky mushrooms?
I'm going to do a nature check while he's doing that.
Sure.
Would it be nature or survival?
What sort of information are you trying to discern?
Actually, I'm going to ask Yori to do it for one. And for another, mostly safe to eat sort of viability.
You're eat this.
Well, no, Yori has a +5 in nature. That's
Yori will try it. Yori will try anything.
Probably survival in that case.
So
no
that
good. She has a
way-
+6 in that.
No takers? Any takers?
9.
Everyone, Caesar gives you a bit of side eye before, as is probably expected, Lethal and Calabibi both hop up. Yeah, sure, we'll try it.
All right, Team Caesar, let's go. 1, 2, 3, eat! And all three of us eat it.
It tastes like grass with a hint of, like, moldy funk. Calabibi immediately just lets it fall back out of her mouth.
I've had worse.
Aren't dragons? I guess that we don't know this for certain, but aren't dragons carnivorous? I
They
would
are
assume.
generally. Lithala also wasn't really thinking about why Caesar wanted to do this and just chucked them back, so they went straight down her throat and she didn't really even chew or taste them. She just like,
And she threw
So
them up.
she's not an exclusive carnivore. Anyway, Yori rolled a 9.
it looks like grass. So it probably functions mostly in a similar fashion to grass. Edibility
Grass.
is questionable.
Well, I'm not dead. So yeah, I'm a little disappointed in all of you, but I also made sure that everybody is not a complete follower. They have to think for themselves. So I give this this loyalty test a B plus.
Right.
Onward.
Nin just leans over the side. Hey, Captain, are we good? What's going on?
Well, so far, not everything's trying to kill us, so positive.
Hey, improvement.
Let's keep
Can I
going.
do like a general perception of like anything, landmarks, weird, interesting?
Yeah.
Having a closer look at the ground and stuff.
Taking a bit more of a wide view of the area, you do see just like kind of right on the edge of your vision, there are much larger shapes on the horizon. They're kind of hard to make out, but you can tell in the direction you are headed, it is not purely like plains. So hopefully that's the right way to go. I should also say, as you, when the three of you jumped off and were on the ground, so you were standing on the ground and the Bold Endeavor is just kind of hovering in the air. Once or twice, Dev just kind of pops her head out of the bottom of the ship, upside down. Hey, is everything okay out here? The grass kind of tickles.
Yeah. We're moving on.
Okay. And she pops back in.
I just realized I also need to look at Yori's level up.
Yes. It should be very simple, but yes.
So sorry I derailed your fun adventure, but I feel like that's what I bring to the table is derailing it every now and then. As long as
Yeah.
it's fun. You know.
Targeted derailing.
Yeah. It's like,
So-
how can Manny improve the situation?
Indeed. But continuing forward in the direction of the shapes that Leo saw, eventually you notice they come further into focus, and they are the shape, generally speaking, of trees, how you would imagine trees to look, but they are also mushrooms. And as you get closer to this sort of forest break, you start noticing people sort of milling about on the edge of it. And further in, you start noticing these mushrooms have doors carved into them. Some of them have windows. There are even a couple of stone huts peppered among them. You appear to have come upon some sort of settlement.
When you say people, are we talking humans, gnomes, Argonians?
We'd be wandering pretty far if we saw Argonians.
It is a bit of a mix. You see a lot of drow, so a lot of dark-skinned elves, a lot of rock gnomes and Duragar, quite a few myconids, mushroom people, and the occasional earth elemental just sort of meandering around, a 3-creen here and there. But it's mostly myconids, drow, and Duragar.
Okay. Let's
Myconids.
settle outside the settlement so they don't think we're like looming over them to attack. And All right. Would anybody like to see the Mushroom Village?
Oh
Who's
hell yeah!
Mostly addressing NPC crew here. Who is interested in a little bit of shore leave?
They all just kind of shrug, and a lot of them make mention of having been away from the Endeavor for months. And there's. When Cove was working on the ship, it was obviously kept in good condition because he was working on it. But it's sort of like when you have a house sitter take care of your house for a while. Everything's clean and, put away and nice, but it's not the way you like it. And so there's a lot of sort of secondary maintenance and cleaning to be done that people have already started working on.
Reorganization.
Yeah. CERN has made has not hidden the fact that she's very annoyed with some of the reorientations that have been made in the engine room. She made sure to wait until we were out of sight of Cove's Forge, but she was rather annoyed at how he switched some things around.
Excuse me.
So there are no takers.
All right. Other than Yori, I assume.
Yes. So how are you approaching this mushroom and stone village?
Is there like the big tree or like a big hut? That's clearly some sort of central
we-
palace or something.
Did we just find the Smurfs?
Ah, shit.
Can I have everyone make perception checks?
Perception checks, everyone.
Let's
Okay.
see what you want us to do there.
Okay. Okay, Shion rolled a 15 and Yori rolled a 21 or 22.
Nice. So, Shion and Caesar, you are kind of caught up in the wow, this is a cave city of mushroom people, and don't see a whole lot beyond the sort of first few alleys, streets. It's hard to kind of gauge what you would be calling these areas. But everything seems to be fairly low to the ground, and you notice there is not a piece of wood in sight. It is all mushroom or stone. Leo, you notice a bit further in, there doesn't seem to be a central building. There is, you notice a sort of circularity. Is that a word? I'm making it a word. Circularity to the layout of the buildings as you walk closer, so that there does seem to be a central area, although you don't see a particularly large building in that central area. You're just noticing everything's kind of central. And that's probably the word I was looking for.
Or circuity.
Yeah, that's the one. Yuri notices all this, but she also sees on the far edge of town evidence of a massive cave-in. Like, the wall looks like it's crumbling down into the back edge of town.
All right. As a random note, because I hadn't leveled her up, technically that nature check before was a 10, not a 9. Our proficiency die went up.
Same basic information. It's grass.
It's
It's
grass.
mushrooms, but it's grass.
Mushrooms, but it's grass.
We didn't eat their babies, did we?
Probably not.
I hope not. I'm not going to mention it. Caesar's a little weirded out by smaller people than him.
Don't mention
He's
it to my
definitely-
kids.
He's definitely going to try to lord over them if he can.
All right.
I mean, generally speaking, most of the entities you're coming across are taller than you.
Why did none of that come through even though you lit up?
They came through for me.
Okay.
Oh, no. My sound just completely went out. Hang on.
Oh dear.
Can someone talk so I can tell when it comes back in?
Blip, 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 blip.
Blip, 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 blip.
Blip, 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 blip.
Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah, blah,
Blah, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah.
Man, I was actually doing 25 or 6 to 4, and then it came out wrong.
Please tell me that's gonna be one of our clips.
So how are you approaching the city? Town? Village? Hard to tell.
I assume our ship is very visible, so we're just going to come from the direction of the ship. And we're going to look as unthreatening as possible. And just kind of approach the near... What?
I was just gonna say, are the Myconids smaller than me?
By and large, no. There are some that are in the 3 to 4 foot range, and there are some that are towering 9-10 feet tall.
I don't like this place anymore. Caesar's gonna get on top of Leo, and just so he looks taller.
Walking further in to the city proper, you notice the buildings that are mercantile or not houses. Most of them seem to have 2 different kinds of writing on each of the signs. You see common, and then you see another form of writing underneath it and more prominent across all of the different signs. It's a very blocky, strange-looking script.
I just realized the huge retcon we're going to have to do unless you realized it, and even though I didn't.
What's that?
Where the fuck is El Jefe? The turtle? Dragon turtle?
Been on your back the whole time.
I'm just going to say, he was chilling with me in Buntor.
He's been on your back the entire time. He hasn't moved.
I loved him, but I always forget him.
I loved him like a son, but I don't know where he is.
It is hard to lug a baby dragon turtle around with you.
That's how Leo got so strong.
Well, that's why I have the magical harness thing.
It's still very cumbersome.
Yeah.
He is growing, but not in. He's not growing as fast as Lethala grew, because dragon turtles are actually longer lived than regular dragons. But so he's still very much a baby. Did you bring him with you, or is he a house pet now?
No, I mean, I think he was probably a house pet, but then when I came back to the ship, I probably brought him with, so he's probably chilling on the Endeavor.
Cool. Definitely didn't forget about the dragon turtle baby.
I totally forgot about the dragon turtle.
So where are you going in this? You've made your way in. You get a few odd looks here and there, a couple of hellos, a couple of greetings in a language you don't understand.
I don't suppose anyone speaks Leonin or Gnomish.
I actually might know Gnomish. I'm not sure.
I know Dwarvish.
I do know Gnomish.
Do Myconids speak Dwarvish? Why the fuck does he speak Gnomish?
To me, little person race. That was my
Line of thinking.
That was my line of thinking.
You can have secret conversations with Shion's wife. She speaks Gnomish, he doesn't.
I'm just gonna tell her in a way that he doesn't hear. He's like, I have embarrassing stories about your husband if you have them.
Oh, I absolutely do. We need to stop and have coffee sometime.
Absolutely. I know a great place, Legends and Lattes.
I'll be there. She just gives you a friendly and amicable pat on the shoulder. But if you do want to try and stop one of the Duragars you see, Duragar is a dwarven subrace. They look like dwarves, but they have dark blue skin and white hair.
Yeah, I'll look for the friendliest Duragar I can see.
Hard to pinpoint. They all look very grumpy, but there's one carrying a bouquet of flowers that seems a little less nasty of a mood. And by flowers, I mean flowering mushrooms. They look like chicken of the sea, which are edible, so it's a little weird that they're in a bouquet, but they're flower adjacent.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hi, hello. What can I do for you?
Hey, we came in that big shit back there. We're looking for a wellspring, is what it's called.
Wellspring.
You know what that is? Like elemental earth wellspring thingy.
It's
You know where I might ask about it? Otherwise,
you might want to ask the grove keepers. They might know what you're talking about. They're a little busy at the moment, but
who are they? Like City Watch?
no, they tend to the mushroom grove. More like babysitters.
Cool. Where to?
He points in the direction of the cave-in.
Oh, yeah. What's the deal with that? Is that like recent?
Yeah, last week. Still working on clearing things. A path will open eventually. It always does.
Okay. Thanks. Is there something specific I could like look for just in that direction?
Look for the myconid with the poofy lichen hair.
Cool.
Krilla. She'll probably be the one most willing to talk to you.
All right, thanks, man. Good luck with the bouquet.
Yeah. It was a weird conversation.
As that conversation was happening in Thieves' Camp, which is said to be a mixture of sounds and gestures, Shion's just gonna ask Yori like what Caesar said to her.
Oh, don't worry about it. We're just making friends.
I'm just gonna give Shion like a really devilish gremlin kind of smile, like
You want me to make it with your lot, right? So that's what I'm doing. Definitely doesn't have anything to do with learning embarrassing stories about your childhood.
Shion doesn't know anything. Wait. Caesar doesn't know anything about my childhood.
I assume you probably told him
you know
something
of.
when you were drunk at some point.
Huh.
Or
I
he
think
could
I've
just be
been-
making the whole thing up. The guy seems to like telling stories.
I'm not sure. I'm not gonna doubt he knows embarrassing stories about me. I'm just doubting the childhood. By the way, is she a rock gnome or a forest gnome?
Forest gnome.
pointy hat.
She's a little uncomfortable underground, but she hides it well.
How is it lit, by the way? Is it like glowing mushrooms, or is there just sort of a weird, ominous daylight in the cave?
Bit of both. There is no sun, obviously. There's no light coming directly from the sky, but there is glowing flora everywhere, such that you have no problem whatsoever seeing. They're just some of the like decorative flora around doors glows, and there are a lot of little bits and bobs along pathways that glow. This is something that has very clearly been cultivated to provide light to a large swath of people who may not otherwise be able to see in the dark.
Cool. So I go back to the boys. Yo, I talked to this dude. He told me about this group of people called the Grove Tenders. which to me kind of sounded like maybe like City Watch or like cops or something. But he was like, no, they're like babysitters. It's kind of weird, but I guess if the ground is people, because like the mushrooms and stuff, that kind of makes sense. But anyway, he said to go that way,
The ground is people?
like mushrooms, you know.
Like
People are the
smaller
ground.
than me?
Mushrooms are people.
Well,
A
Caesar's kind of
Myconid
look
passing by you just kind of does a double take and then keeps walking.
Caesar's just gonna like look at them and be like, have the sudden realization. I'm like, oh my god, who did I eat?
Let's go.
It's a rather pleasant jaunt through the town. It is slightly creepy because mushrooms and glow lichen and the general underground sensibility, but the people seem generally fairly nice and accommodating. You get some nods and some smiles. When you get to the other side of the small town and you come up in front of this cave-in, you notice there are less people than you would expect given the size of the cave-in, but there are a handful of people working it, trying to kind of carefully move things around.
Hail. Anyone here speak common?
Or
Or-
Dwarvish. I say in Dwarvish.
A handful of people kind of look up and around at you, and eventually one of the Myconids, trying to pull some stuff away, brushes off his hands and walks over. It's a brown-stemmed Myconid with eyes kind of popping over the top of his cap, and his hands are very kind of they almost look torn up from moving the rocks around. Yes, I speak common. It's hard. May I have your permission to commune more freely?
um,
Do I know
you
what he's
have
talking
permission.
about?
If you are willing.
Leo, you can make a nature check. Yeah, he's asking if he can thought sport you. Yeah. He waits to make sure everyone nods. I don't want to intrude.
I'm okay with it.
What exactly is he asking?
To touch our minds.
Oh. You can try. I would advise against it.
He penetrates Caesar's mind and says,
Oh, this isn't so bad, and then it just never stops.
yeah.
It's
He,
just a monkey playing on the germ like that, but with him just like saying how awesome he is.
he nods and kind of shakes his head, and a small puff of spores fly off him and over to the three of you. And kind of before you even realize it, you've breathed some of them in. And as soon as it's kind of, you get over the shock of breathing in, cough a little bit, you then hear crystal clear and easily understandable in your mind. Oh, that's much better. Trying to use orifices is hard. I much prefer speaking this way. How can I help you?
You make talking sound disgusting.
I don't enjoy it.
We are looking for. We are here on behalf of the gods of the Liberian Five Realms.
He
look
immediately kind of like shirks back.
For
You're
the
here
sake,
for information.
for the sake of everyone within the realms, we are looking for a wellspring.
That probably means you're looking for the grove. A little word of advice. This seems like it's your first time to the plains. We don't tend to. We don't hold much for divine power here. You probably want to keep mention of deities to a minimum.
What about primordials?
Legends, because I'm one of them.
Primordials are more acceptable. They are more part of our world.
Well, I am also here on behalf of Allbark.
Oh, well, that's different, isn't it? And he kind of turns around and looks. Unfortunately, what you're looking for is, well, I'm assuming probably you're looking for the spore grove, but it's behind that. And he points at the cave-in.
Okay.
Should we call the crew?
I mean, generally in Rylith, we just sort of accept that a path will open up eventually. It always does. The earth is always changing.
Maybe we are the path that's opening up for you. If we can find a way to clear it out.
That would be nice. We've probably had a few sporelings hatch at this point, and they're just roaming around back there.
Just like we have some babies back there. We'll find them eventually. It's like they're probably fine.
The
Left the AC on.
The guardian is back there. He keeps care of them. We just wait for them to show up.
Who's guardian?
The Grove Guardian.
Besides, I believe you have a deep connection to the as much to life as to death, being a fungus society.
Indeed. Death is necessary for life to continue.
Your race sounds fun, guy.
Yes, I've never heard that before.
Excellent. I pride myself on new jokes.
Does that pun even work in common? Do puns
He's
even
reading
work
my-
in telepathy?
Y'all are reading my mind, so apparently it translates.
So, y'all are actually speaking. It's just him using telepathy to go into your mind.
So, how long is this gonna last? Because I don't like the idea of fungus growing inside of me.
Oh, they're not growing. They're already dead.
Okay. How are we speaking then?
They connect us.
But they're not alive?
Is your hair alive? Well, you don't have hair. He turns to Leo and Shion. Is your hair alive as it comes out of your skull?
I don't know.
Not dead
No, it's
either.
not.
Ironically, for someone connected to the primordial of life, I'm actually not that up to date on my biology.
He's like, I failed biology, man.
It is
Okay.
one
How
of the
big-
many mysteries of life.
How big actually is the cave-in, like, in terms of, I don't know, square feet or whatever? Like, is it a massive cave-in?
It's a good 15, 20 feet high, maybe 12, 15 feet across.
There's
it's
no
not
like little
huge.
holes or anything like a little person could go through.
Why don't y'all give me investigation checks as you study it?
Yeah, I'm just gonna do it for Yori.
I really wish I was like my first thought was like do an intimidation roll against it. And it's like, no, that's not gonna work.
You ain't shit, Wall.
You kick it.
Yori rolled in 18. Sorry, 17.
Okay. And you're not doing one for yourself?
No.
Okay.
He doesn't care.
She does notice that there are a few places with looser rocks. That's where some of the few people that have been trying to clear things have made some headway. It would take a bit of time, but there's probably a way to clear it without risking more problems. It doesn't seem like a, well, we're screwed situation.
Well,
Is there a spell that's like vaguely mass telekinesis or something that does stuff like this? Because I've always kind of wondered. Not that I
There's
have
like
that spell.
there's telekinesis. There is earth shape or something like that. Something
Mhm.
about molding earth or
Yeah, I think it's called Earth Shape.
there. I think there might be more than one earth bending spells, basically.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't even think they're on my list. Either one of my lists.
No, I
Have
think
you
it's
tried
mostly.
sorta-
punching it?
I think it's
Could
mostly
just
geo
sort of
stuff.
stand in the middle and do thunder wave.
I feel like we
I'm
need
sure that won't cause any issues.
Yeah, I feel like we need a structural engineer here.
Yeah.
I say we strap something to the biggest boulder and have the bold endeavor, mind you, just pull it.
That actually might not be the worst idea.
Maybe do that in combination with finding, like you said, if there's somebody who looks like they're sort of spearheading the effort of cleaning it out.
It's a
Yeah,
real-
we should ask them what the best path forward is and what they would need. It's like we have and tell them what we have.
Before we do all that, I want to ask someone, hey, there's not like another entrance or anything, right? You guys aren't just like not concerned about this because there's another way in that's like more obnoxious, right?
I don't believe so. Rylith is old enough. There might be some entrances in some cellars around town, but I doubt anyone knows any of them anymore. This is the main way we go to the Spore Grove.
How many houses are here?
Couple dozen.
Just process of elimination. Just knock on people's doors and be like, hey, can we check your basement?
That's gonna go over.
We don't
very
care how
well.
many bodies are down there.
Not this week.
So what direction are we going in?
I think offering the services of the Bold Endeavor to clear out some of the bigger rocks is a pretty good direction to go in.
Okay.
How big is Lathala now?
When she's in her dragon form, she spends most of her time as a dragonborn. When she's in her dragon form, she's about the size of like a draft horse.
Okay.
Fairly large.
So yeah, like look for somebody who knows what's going on and ask them how we can help and say we have some horsepower to give.
Yeah.
I have some dragon power.
So you actually see the large myconid that the Duragar had said to look for. She stands out because A, she's quite tall, and B, she has what almost looks like a wig made of moss just kind of draped over her mushroom cap head. And she's sort of off to the side directing people. You also hear her, which is a little surprising as the myconids seem to not particularly enjoy making vocal noises.
I just want to go on record as saying fungal spores entering my body is one of my top fears. So this is a fun experience.
Exposure therapy.
Fungus, mold, ugh, just scares the hell out of me.
Yes. Be careful there, Tira. That one has one of the nodes. You're gonna want to stay. Oh, this is going to take forever.
Do they have like little fungus traffic lights?
No, the town is not that big.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Can
What
I
is it?
help you? You don't seem like you're from around here.
No, we're not. We actually are here to help you. We just want to see if we can find a way to help you clear the block here. We have a airship here if anything needs to be, anything large needs to be moved.
Yes. I mean, that would be very helpful. Our problem is a lot of these rocks seem to have some sort of protection on them that keeps hurting us. If we could find a way to clear more of them without touching them, that would be helpful. I tried to get a few of my elemental friends over here, but when they started shaping it, it didn't go well. One of them started smoking.
Smoking. So, like, sets you on fire?
No, more like acid? Poison.
I was thinking tobacco.
I was gonna say, damn, he just really needed to smoke.
Look, do you know if it's poison or acid? Those are two different.
I'm afraid I don't know. The rock just flared with some sort of arcane rune, and then he started smoking and saying it felt like his skin was being burned off. Well, he didn't say skin, that they don't have skin, but
Okay.
it would be helpful if we had some very large shovels, is what I'm saying, but that's not really something we tend to worry about around here.
Can you show us where this happened? Maybe there's a root cause we can
Sure, I mean, there's one
uproot?
right there, and she points at a rock in the pile in front of her, and you notice it has a very, very faint sort of, it's almost like when you see a rock gets wet, it's like a little shiny, and then when it dries, it's dull. There's that shiny element of it that looks like the similar sort of runes you saw covering the island that Ulania was trapped on.
Huh. All right, step back.
Oh, goodness.
Just going to try to see what happens if I throw a magic stone at it. So just obviously there's rubble around us, so
Okay. Can you make an attack roll?
uh-huh. Oh, that's a low attack. 11.
Excuse me. It's not terribly hard to hit. It's not a tiny rock. But you do hit it, and there is immediately a sound of rumbling. And could everyone please make me a dexterity save, as there is a small explosion in front of you.
If y'all are within 10 feet of me, you add 4 to that save.
I feel like that's a safe assumption since y'all are just kind of chilling.
Yeah.
How do you actually do saves on this new shit?
Said dexterity?
Correct.
Oh, I'm stupid.
Is this something I can see?
Yes.
Let's see.
Damn, that's what's advantage.
Shion rolled an 11, and Yori rolled wait, what? I lost track of what she rolled. I'm just gonna read what. 15.
All right. So Leo and Yori managed to get out of the way. You hear the rumbling and just kind of instinctually dive. Caesar and I just realized I literally haven't pulled my dice out yet. We've just been talking. But Caesar and Shion, you get unfortunately blasted with some of the rubble. As you both take 10 bludgeoning damage and are knocked back 10 feet. as Shion seems to have set off a little bit of an explosion. There is now significantly less rubble in this area.
I will point out Caesar actually rolled a 21
What?
because of my aura.
That was
Wait.
me.
Oh wait, I was scrolled up too high. Okay, he rolled a 9. Never mind. So that's a
I don't
perception
think I
check.
healed from the last battle either.
That was the same day.
Yep.
That certainly got rid of a lot of it. We may want to take things slightly more carefully, but knowing that they trigger explosions is good. This is more information.
Okay, well, I can also do that from
Further away?
further away. Exactly how far? I assume that's affected by spell sniper, right? Magic stone.
Yeah, because it has a range, right? So Spell Sniper would add to the range.
Yeah, it's just weird because it's like the spell itself doesn't have a range. The effect of the spell has a range. It's weird. But hang on, let me double check what the original range is, because I don't know if I actually like put it in. You know.
Yeah, does it have a range, or is it just make the stone magic and you're throwing it?
Well, the spell cast is touch, but what the spell does is let you throw it 60 feet.
Okay. Then yeah,
So
I would
it's-
say Spell Sniper affects it.
Okay, so I can do it 120 feet.
All right. I will, I suppose I'll gather my people up and leave you to it.
Okay.
She nods and just kind of walks away, and you hear her start calling the few other people that were trying to work around the rocks.
The most efficient way is I just keep casting it because I do 3 stones at a time. I just keep casting it and handing out the stones to the other 3 because y'all just basically get to use my spell attack and range for the attack.
Cool.
Couldn't I just blast it too?
You could do that.
I could punch it.
I don't think you want to do that.
I guess you technically have. Oh no, it's a spell attack, not a weapon attack. You can't extra attack that. Never mind.
I should have used deflect missiles.
That wouldn't have worked.
But we're trying to hit it from a range, so I'm just gonna hand Yori and Caesar stones, and take one myself, and then actually no, I don't. I would also benefit from using Eldritch Blast. So yeah. Point is, we can have a lot of projectiles going every round, and it would go pretty quickly, I think.
Yes.
Everybody backs up and we just start torrential downpour of magic spells onto the rocks.
And it is cacophonous and explosive. By the time you are finished clearing, there is more rubble than there was to begin with. However, there is now an opening. And you have an audience. Some people are yelling in adulation, and some people are screaming at you to knock that off. What the hell do you think you're doing? But eventually a path
It
has
was
been cleared.
sanctioned. We got the permit right here.
And before you is a wide, dark opening further into the cave.
I like how we we have these new level ups, and we came back after 9 months, and we're stronger and all that, and then we just use level 1 stuff to just
Make a hole.
I mean, we're blasting rocks. I don't really think using fancy stuff is warranted.
Now the question is, would you like to proceed forward immediately, or would you like to perhaps take some time to rest and recuperate.
All right, Yuri, you ready to see how the Myconids and the Duragard party? Because I have no idea.
Sure.
I say rest because I don't want to get hit by something again.
Actually, one society I have not yet partied with.
All right. So, we will come back to that in just a moment. I'm going to run to the bathroom. We're going to do a little breaky break. Wow, that's loud.
Yes!
All right. So, what's happening? What's going on?
We are taking the night. We're going to rest and learn how a druid Myconid party goes. Or
Durga.
So,
yeah, druid.
couple things you learn.
Close enough.
One, by nature of living in a giant cave, there's not really a day-night cycle in Rylith. People just kind of work in blocks of hours. There's no distinction made between daytime and nighttime. It's just a 24-hour clock, and that's how things work. You also... am I coming through on Edwards, Michael?
Yeah.
Weird. You also, as you kind of go out into the town and try to find recreation, you notice that while this is a fairly diverse town, recreation seems to be pretty well divided by race, because different races have different ideas of what constitutes fun. So what are you looking to experience?
So is it all Duergar and Myconid?
There's a fairly decent mix, but the majority are Duragar and Myconid. The next one after that would probably be the Drow, which are elves.
I don't. Are Drow aren't evil, right?
Not in my world.
Okay,
I don't
good.
do the whole elf thing. Don't worry, you're not going to run into a Drider in the caves.
Yeah, they sound a lot like Dark Eldar in Warhammer 40K, and I don't want to meet those kind of people.
That's how it is in the canon D&D lore. And should y'all ever find yourselves going to the Underdark, you may run into some issues like that. But these guys are chill. They're kind of snooty, like elves tend to be, but
I like how in Skyrim, the Dark Elves are just like a section of Britain, and that's it. Like, they're just like northwest British people is all it means.
So, Shion is going to remind Yuri that Lorian wants her to, put herself out there, try, play around and experiment a bit more. So, Shion is going to have Yuri kind of take the lead on like looking for people to have fun with, and she's not going to be comfortable with it.
yeah, she gives you a very nasty look and makes a beeline for the first tavern she sees, which it turns out is where all the Duragar hang out. And it's just like Oktoberfest in a nightclub.
Okay, so drinking step 1, step 2 is talking to people you don't know.
Why is that
God, I failed
unnecessary?
that so many. This game got too real.
What did Yuri say?
Why is that necessary?
Because that's how you form connections. That's how we met. Because I talked to you.
We met because I was sneaking around trying to figure out what you were doing with my friend.
Okay, so I talked to her.
Right.
Or she talked to me. I actually don't remember how that one went down.
So other people do the talking. Why do I need to? And this conversation goes on for a while and gets more ridiculous the more drinks you have.
Yep.
Leo and Caesar, what are y'all doing?
finding the weirdest thing that people get high off of, like some kind of weird fungus or fungus beer, fungus weed, fungus.
Now you're the druggie?
Hey
Somebody
man,
had to pick
he
up the
lets the
mantle.
party. If anything, me and Leo are just like, where's the good shit?
Why is Leo like that?
Well, I have been shacked up with with the housewife for 6 months or whatever. So yeah, fuck it. I'm
Time
trying
to
to
get
party too.
fucked up.
So you go about looking for substances that might be interesting. This is once again where I wish 5th edition had a streetwise check. Can y'all make me?
Okay. It would be easy with the sheets. Just investigation with charisma is basically a streetwise check. Or you
I
use
just like to
investigation.
I just like to point out that after my ASI, my performance is now at +15.
Okay, Mr. Bard. Yeah, can both of y'all just make me? Are either of you proficient in investigation?
Investigation?
No.
I'm not sure.
Okay, can you both
Um,
just make charisma checks? Just straight charisma checks.
Oh yeah, I can do that. Shit,
This is a charisma group, so. Oh my goodness.
man,
I am a performer too.
I'm a performer, man.
I just do it with my muscles.
Caesar is able to kind of connect with these people a little bit better. The awkwardness is
practice.
mutual. But you kind of wind your way around town a little bit. There are various different ways people recreationally imbibe and undertake. But looking for the weirdest and most interesting, you find yourselves in a weirdly blue lit room with a bunch of myconids. They're all fairly small, but you can tell just having been around for a few hours, like, and seeing how people interact, you can tell these are all very young myconids. And they come into this room, and the blue light is coming from it's a mushroom in the center of the room that looks almost like a log stump, but you can tell from the texture that it's a mushroom. And one of them brings in what looks like another myconid, but it's not moving, and there's no like facial features. Like it's if someone like a crash dummy kind of thing, but a myconid. And he sets it down on this glowing blue stump and lights it on fire. And everyone kind of crowds into this small room, and they all sit down. They all put out their telepathy spores so that everyone is breathing that in with the smoke of whatever this thing happening in the center is.
Okay, I'm getting
And
weird vibes.
can both of you please make Constitution saves?
I'm starting to regret this.
Like, yep, let's roll to make sure we don't get cancer.
Are we smoking dead bodies tonight?
It's like, talk about a funeral pyre.
Caesar, you immediately get this very pleasant sort of heady feeling. It's like being drunk, but without the weird sort of numbing effect you get from drunkenness. It's just the sort of airy lightheadedness. You start seeing very vivid colors kind of just meandering in front of your eyes. It is very strange and, very intense, but ultimately a pleasant feeling. Leo, you've had bad trips. You've had really bad trips. You've never had anything like this. It is
Oh fuck!
a just cacophony of like screeching and static noise. There is piercing light coming into your eyes. You try to look around at the other people in the room, and they all look like they're just transmogrifying into these grotesque flesh-like entities. And it is all you can do not to just shit your pants in fear as this experience just sort of washes over you.
Oh fuck! Why did I go back to this shit, man? Take me home, man. Fuck this shit, man. I picked a different life, man. Why am I here again, man? What the hell, bro?
Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. I'm gonna smack him. Calm down.
That doesn't help.
Breathe deeper.
That's not gonna help either.
Breathe deeper.
Nah, man, you just gotta let it flow over you, man. You gotta ride the wave, man. And you
getting
see
too
the
old
other
for this shit.
Myconezzer just like swaying as the smoke gets heavier. Eventually,
I
good.
fully freak out and like bust out the door of the place and try to leave. You just stumble down the streets.
As soon as you take more than one breath of air outside of that room, everything just comes straight back into focus.
Oh shit!
Caesar has a great time. Meets some new friends. They're super chill.
They know my name like 10 times over. They know names that I forgot.
They also give you the name Blue Scale Smoker.
Ooh. I'm gonna save
After
that
like
one.
after like an hour of like of that ridiculous conversation, Shion, they agree that like, okay, tonight Shion will take the lead, but with the implication that Yori might try it someday down the line, probably won't. And between time crunch and Yori sandbagging him, I rolled my persuasion at disadvantage and got a 23.
Good heavens. Hold on, let me see here. Here's my thingy.
Like she tells you to go out and try to fix this. It'll be fine. I'm not totally comfortable with this either. I've never done it with a Durgar. Okay, I don't think I've done it with a dwarf.
You actually eventually find yourself chatting up a rock gnome who initially is only interested in Yori, but she listens to you talk for a while and finds herself interested in both of you. And it becomes
like
a very
your vibe.
interesting night. Yeah.
God.
We saw you from across the Mike and A bar and liked your vibe.
So, do y'all try to find places in town to rest for a bit, or do you go back to the Endeavor? Something that I should note. Well, hold on. You said, yeah. Do you find a place in town, or you go back to the Endeavor?
I spend 5 gold on a good place.
Okay.
That Shion is willing to shell out for the night.
Okay.
After that experience, I'm heading back to the Endeavor, and I'm sitting in my room thinking about my wife.
So, Leo, something that is pointed out to you by Dev when you kind of come stumbling back looking for your room. You go over to the door that heretofore has been the, technically it's called the captain's quarters, but it's the three of you shared one room. And you notice that the door is locked. The door has never been locked before. After a moment,
Hey, yo, what the hell?
Nin comes running up. Oh, sorry. No, he, big man, what's his name? Cove, told us to give you guys this. Could you make sure Shion and Caesar get the other two? And he hands you a set of 3 keys. It's very apparent whose is whose. Yours looks like it's the head of the key is the shape of a lyre. Shion's has vines wrapped around it, and Caesar's looks like a little dagger.
Oh. Change the locks.
I have a feeling I know where this is going.
I think there's probably more to it than that, but yeah, something like that.
Oh, shit. Is it gonna be like a portal door thing where we each get a room in the same space?
Only one way to find out.
I open the door
So
with my
you
key.
unlock it with your key, and as soon as the door swings open, it looks very similar to the room that you walked into when you were meeting Captain Montagna. There is a big, beautiful, sprawling bed you see off to one side. There's a piano up against another wall. There is a walk-in wardrobe with all manner of very nice clothing, a table set out for you with snacks already prepared. It is the most lush, opulent, like studio apartment you have ever seen.
Oh, forget about it, bro.
He's never leaving now.
Just for the fuck of it, I step back out and I try to use Shion's key on the door.
Opening it up, Shion's looks similar. There's not a piano in the corner, and the colors are much more brown and green toned. You notice the bed is even larger, and the wardrobe is not quite so big, but it is also just a very nice sort of studio apartment looking place. There's also a big desk and a small bookshelf.
Boring. I go back to my room.
All right. Shion and Caesar, you both shell out for very nice rooms. It is very strange because you can tell this town is not used to having visitors. Never mind bigwigs who are willing to pay lots of money. But they get you the nicest, fanciest looking room that they can muster. It's a little creepy. Kind of feels like you're staying at a themed Halloween hotel. But they're very comfortable and they're very nice. The food is perhaps slightly disturbingly a vast array of mushrooms prepared in a number of different ways. Yori gives a little bit of a side look at the Myconid waiter. She looks down at the mushrooms and looks up at him. And he doesn't seem to see anything wrong with this. He just sets her glass down and walks away.
I might not know much about biology, but I heard that in Andar alone, there's something like 2,000 species of mushrooms or fungus.
I'll be damned. Wonder how many of them are sentient. And she just starts shoveling it in.
That's my point, really. They see the distinction better than we do. Like, from Boonthar, we have like 6 words for waves. Wait, no, playing the wrong character. This is a stat.
And
if you ever get Alzheimer's, God help you if you do. Just imagine him being like, no, I'm playing. Wait, no, I'm confusing the character from 20 years ago.
You all have a nice long rest, relax, regain hit points, regain spell slots, etc., etc.
Every time you say long rest, I think of the do 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 from Tales of Symphonia. That's it.
I just think do 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 do.
I have the slightest idea what that was supposed to be.
Seriously?
No.
It's like prairie something or other. You'd
It's like a
recognize
super.
it.
It's like
It's like the
classical.
Looney Tunes one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it wakes up and you just hear that song.
Maybe.
You wake
I'm
up.
literally just thinking now how I could Google that, and I'm like, I can't just sing it into there, huh?
It's like, where's the Google search for just sounds? Wait, no, there is one. It won't do your song, but There is one.
I don't know if Shazam would be able to pick that up. All right. And you wake up 8 or so hours later. Jim has disappeared into the darkness.
Oh shit. Sun went down.
I assume everyone meets in front of the exit towards the Spore Grove.
Yep.
I'm just expecting. Okay, I was just expecting his face to come back and look really creepy.
Alright, we are gonna hope that this works.
I like it when he like goes backwards and he's just like.
I do the
Alright.
completely annihilate my floor in the process.
There's a fun video like that where someone's like, wake up," and he falls over and it looks like he's dropping into the void, but he was on like a half pipe. So he's like, ah!
Alright, so the entrance, despite how large the cave-in was, the entrance is only about 5 feet wide, which means, unfortunately, this cave, hallway, whatever it is you're going into, does have to be entered single file.
Okay. Well, clearly, Caesar
should
goes
go
first.
Yeah. He is the leader. He is the showman. He will go first.
I also
Alright.
When we met up earlier, I hand the keys to the other dudes and be like, Cove pimped out our room, by the way.
Oh, cool. Is there actually going to be enough space
Darkness.
for Yori? Is there going to be enough space for Yori to sleep now?
Yeah, I think so.
Alright. You have entered the cavern.
Okay.
How
Without.
am I supposed to see anything?
Well, no. Okay, I'm going to cast.
I mean, I could just cast Produce Flame. That's whatever.
Okay. Well, if you got it, then you got it. Is that a cantrip?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm half expecting him to do that, and then his room lights up.
Oh. Interesting.
There's just a blazing fire beneath me in real life.
How? Haha.
Yori will already be looking for hazards. I was gonna say traps, but it's more like hazards.
Okay.
Is that perception or investigation? Because she's good at one of those.
Perception.
Ooh. 13.
The name you gave was Blue Scale Smoker.
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. That'll come up eventually.
Sorry, how much? What did she roll?
13.
All right. So she does see, and actually, I think everyone can see off to the side. There is what looks like just this sort of undulating miasma of green smoke that does not look particularly friendly, but is also not making any efforts to come closer to you. And as far as she can see for the moment, there doesn't seem to be anything else immediately at issue.
All right. Well, looks like it's a dead end over here. Let's head down this way. Should we have a Yori token too?
That's a cave-in.
Let me see here.
Yeah, it looks like it. Oh no, wait. I think that's just Leo's light is getting cut off by the walls.
Oops.
No. It's good. It's working properly.
Yay.
It's just it created the illusion of greater depth because it was like lighter up here and then like more gray over here.
It looked like there was a crack in it in the middle on my end.
Conveniently, she has dark vision too. So
Little people have good sight. How tall is she?
I'll roll for it.
She is a gnome, so she is quite short.
Yeah, I'm gonna use like the official like randomized height thing because it's funny.
And how tall are you?
Oh wow, she's the minimum height. 3 foot. She's 3'1".
She's taller than me.
Shion? Shion's tall.
Yeah, isn't he like 6'3" or something?
Something like that. It didn't carry over between versions, but I think he was 6'1".
I think you were like 6'3" because I remember you being a little bit taller than me, and I'm like 6'1".
Okay. We'll take your word for it.
It's yeah, I didn't carry over on mine either.
Anyway,
You are quite the odd couple. I'm just gonna say it.
technically not a couple. At minimum, we're a throuple. All right.
Caesar's not gonna question any more of that.
Okay. Yori's gonna just double check up here.
And I'm going to say we're in soft initiative. Just, don't go running everywhere.
She moves there.
I don't see anything.
I like to imagine that Yuri, me, and Caesar are all doing the like 3 heads poking out of around a corner at different heights thing.
Oh, yeah, we could do that with 4 people because we're all different heights.
Yeah.
If y'all,
Caesar, Yori.
it does look like 2 dead ends. If y'all want to make an investigation check.
Sure, we'll get a Shion investigation going. Shion, investigate. Go, dice roll. 17.
Dungeon dice monsters.
That's D&D with fewer steps.
Shion, you notice scratched into the wall is the phrase Keppa was here.
Keppa?
Mm-hmm.
What's a
Keppa.
Keppa? Do I know a Keppa?
I'm sure you do.
Sounds
Peppa.
like maybe a
Oh
name.
shit. I don't know who that is.
Keppa was here.
That's probably no one.
Keppa was here. Keppa. Wait
Anyway,
a
let's go.
second. Wait a second. That's not one of Caesar's names, is it?
I don't think so.
Just write it down. Keppa
How
the
do you
cave crawler.
deselect?
I usually just click into the ruler and then click back to token.
Yeah. Configure settings. User interface? There we go. Left click to release objects. Did you have to reload the entire page to do that? Good grief.
I'll go this way.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm tired of being careful, and I'm just gonna walk this way.
All right. Caesar, can you please make a dexterity save?
Rather not.
You're out of my range too, so I can't. So you don't get my aura bonus.
I don't like this setup. I don't like having it go away.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Yeah.
What goes away?
The whole right sidebar can like collapse.
And
So is this something I can see?
No.
the funny thing is, even with it collapse, it'll pop out the last thing put in the chat.
Well, that's unfortunate.
So, Caesar, you decide to go marching ahead, just ready to roll, want to see what's ahead of you, and you take one step too many before you hear crumbling underneath you. And you fall about 15 feet down into a hole. You take
Ow.
8 damage from the fall and find yourself face to face
Uh-oh.
with 2 giant clumps of like fused together mushrooms and myconids. They are these just giant amalgamations of mushrooms. You see faces all over them. The mouth is just kind of gaping.
I just saw those phase into existence too. It's like, oh god, this is Junji Myconid hour.
And we're going to leave it there for the night because it's 10 to 10.
Ah! But I want. Can we go for 2 more
Will
hours?
Caesar make it through this? Who knows?
But I want to go.
Cue roundabouts.
Doom, doom, doom.
Wait, that's Seinfeld.
What?
Looks like Tatooine.
This is where we left off.
I know. I don't remember the map looking like this. It definitely didn't look like this. This was straight.
I mean, that's a token, that turn. The map was the same.
I know. I'm just saying it was different.
You said the map was different.
I still think it looks different, but whatever.
Alright, you should be good. Unless Liz's IP changed too.
All right, level 13. Edwards is
Oh,
easy.
shit.
Level 6 aura of protection. You got a 10-foot aura to help people.
Mm-hmm.
You want to roll a paladins or d12, I think, for HP?
No, the paladins are D10.
Oh, they're d10.
Yeah,
Barbarians.
only the barbarians D12. I totally forgot about that part though. So, oh, right. I'm using physical dice. I do find it very amusing that I was like, can I use physical dice? And then I like rolled super high on them. I'm just like, I kind of look like I'm cheating.
Nah, by this point, we all know your luck.
All right, I'm about to break 100. What's my con? +2.
Did you roll a 10?
I rolled a 10.
Good grief.
All right, that's 12 HP.
All right, Jim, are we doing bard or paladin? Or not paladin, warlock.
Warlock.
So that's going to be
I'm
warlock.
to the paladin side.
Warlock 4?
8.
8. I knew that. Which means you know another spell. That's it.
An ASI, right? Or no?
Yes. ASI or feet. Any thoughts?
I think I was just gonna do an ASI. I have to like learn this new UI. How do I actually level up?
Oh, that's a fantastic question that I definitely have an
You
answer to.
suppose you can drag over your class over, but if you have subclass that's not in the SRD, it won't do much. But it'll at least get you like the hit die and everything. I just had to do everything manually because I forgot about that. But you go to the like little book that says compendium packs. You go to legacy content, character features, classes. Grab the class you want and drag it onto your character sheet.
Boom.
Warlock 8. All right. And you said
It should ask for your HP level up too? Because the way I did it is I hit the wrench in the top left corner, and I manually put it up, and it didn't update my HP, and I had to like do an HP override.
Yeah, I don't think it's giving me any HP prompt.
Unfortunate.
Roll a d8. Nice.
That's pretty good.
And Constitution is +1, so it's 8 HP added to your hit points. And you said you're going to do an ASI. What are you going to bump?
I don't know. Let me think about it for a sec.
Okay.
How do I actually change my hit points?
You're going to need to hit the little wrench in the top left.
I have not. Oh, here we go.
So this is the same day, and I know I can't re-prepare the spells I already have prepared, but I do have one extra one I can prepare now. I can prepare 7 instead of 6. Can I go ahead and prepare one, or should I wait till next day?
Sure. All right, Caesar, are you doing monk or barbarian for your next level?
I think I will do. Extra attacks don't stack, right?
Correct.
Damn.
It is a bum level when you've got 2 multi-classed extra attacks.
Which
I
seems
think
silly
I
to me because you have to invest 5 entire levels into 2 different classes to make that work.
So
ASIs, you get 2 stats, right?
yeah, you get 2 points. You can either do +1 into 2 different stats or +2 to 1 stat.
How about 3 to 5 stats?
So
No.
monk 5, the extra attack doesn't stack, but you would get stunning strike, which is a
Which is
big thing.
honestly the monk's most powerful ability.
It is frustrating as hell.
What's focused aim?
Focused aim is a Tasha's thing. When you miss with an attack roll, you can spend 1 to 3 key points to increase your attack roll by 2 for each of the key points. Good grief.
Yeah, that's really powerful. Not just because of the 2, but because it's one when you miss.
Yeah.
So it's like
And then Barbarian 9 would be your first brutal critical die, which is fun.
I feel like I don't do enough criticals to justify that, though.
you do also have to keep an eye out for it because Foundry no longer colors it when you do a critical.
That's just
So
a nat 20, right?
Unless you have something that increases the critical range.
And then it has +3. It would be +3 rage damage instead of +2 if I'm reading this correctly. But I think I'll go with monk. If I do 2 monk, I can get the. If I can do 2 of either one, if I choose to pick one twice, then I can get a race feature or a class feature. at
Extra
least. So
class,
I'm
yes.
gonna-
Fancy class feature.
And then 6th level. Yeah, I'll do monk.
All right.
More of a monk than a barbarian these days.
You do a little bit of both. Your martial arts die also goes up to a d6, but I think you're already punching with d6s because of a barbarian thing. So
What do I roll for my stats? My
So-
hit points?
since you're doing a monk, well, first let's drag the monk over to it because that should add in stunning strike to your kit.
Look at this die I got recently,
Yeah,
Jim.
Damn.
I think I did it right.
It makes a thud when you roll it.
Yeah, hang on.
Is it like metal or something?
Yeah, and it's big and heavy.
Damn.
It's a chunker. I heard that from my room.
I don't think it's gonna work.
Why do me and Jim look so similar right now?
Because you have fairly similar face shapes.
Because we're both large dudes with round faces wearing glasses.
Because you're both awesome.
It's the Caucasian Manny.
Yeah, that's
Jim.
the right answer.
Goodness.
And I'm the Mexican Jim. Or Filipino Jim, depending on which one you like better.
Depending on what mood Manny's in.
I'm feeling Filipino today.
I'm told I look more Filipino than Mexican. Or no, sorry, reverse that.
Any. Let this jet go by. Boy, I love living near a military base. It's so great.
It doesn't come through your mic at all.
It's so loud.
Discord noise suppression is pretty good, but it does show up on the recording. So
Yeah, it
that's annoying.
does.
Very appealing.
Sometimes, I don't know if you've ever seen this before, Jim, but sometimes we'll walk outside and it looks like you could throw a rocket at a plane that's flying overhead. It's so low. It's like sometimes I can see the pilot in there. At least maybe I did. I don't know.
Goodness.
I feel like I did.
Any unresolved questions, comments, concerns?
I still have not been told where babies come from. I've asked many times over the years on stream.
They come from those particle effects, like the little heart particle effects in Minecraft.
Oh, okay.
According to Star Wars Rebels, they can come from a kiss.
It's only taken me like what 10 years of me asking. No, it's more like 7. I only did that on Discord.
So.
Watermelon.
How's it going?
Pretty good. Started watching Game of I started Juba.
I see.
Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I started watching Game of Thrones.
Oh.
Quite different.
I mean, when you're just using your mouth, I can see the overlap. I have the thing collapse, so that just popped up.
Hey, we're back! Woo! It's been like a month. And we get to do a dungeon crawl.
Yay!
But I did want to just feel like I need to say I had this plan for a long time before Edward started his.
Double dungeon crawl, or just D&D is just a dungeon crawl right now.
I blame Jim for this. He went the wrong direction as me.
Okay.
I assume everyone probably hears a blah as he falls.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
only like 20 feet away.
I was about to ask, are we rolling initiative?
You will be next.